Namaste, ma'am. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this festival. And I think you've spent 6 months thinking about it, working on it, getting it done. And I thank you so much for, agreeing right after the first conversation. And I remember when I told you that the theme is going to be Ghora, and it's about the grotesque form of goddesses that are not very pleasing or very appealing or comforting. I said you can choose any goddess that you want to choose. Can you tell me how you came up with the choice of goddesses and how you brought them together to form one unit? Because I just watched your film. I exploited my privilege as a curator. I just watched it, and I think it's beautifully done. You have brought in so many things that speak to us as women, and not just to a concept or a metaphysical kind of an idea, but it's something we all respond to as people and as women. So, how did you weave today and the idea of the goddess so beautifully?
Firstly, my heartfelt thanks to Lasakalpa Foundation for giving me this wonderful opportunity. It is indeed a big pleasure for me and an honor for me to be here today with you and with all the other eminent artists and whom I really adore and respect. And I remember when you had first approached me with this concept of Khora. Khora means Bhayankar, right? Fierce, wild. So I had always wanted to work on the all women's army of Manipur, who are fearless, valiant, chivalrous, and as per the normal societal norms, they are Khora. And I wanted to work on them, not only on the Vedic, the Hindu gods and goddesses, and I compared these women with the ancient goddesses that we have in our religion. In our religion means in the ancient Meitei pantheon. We have innumerable gods and goddesses portraying various phenomena like the sky, the rain, the earth, whatnot, even salt. Like if you don't have salt in the food, then your life it has no taste. So we have for salt, for water, for fish, for rice, everything. And today is Imoinu Puja in Manipur. Imoinu is she's the goddess of the home and hearth, the kitchen, peace, love, prosperity. Similar to Lakshmi, a bit similar to Lakshmi, but Imoinu, she's an old woman.
Oh, lovely. So, how did you choose these goddesses? You've chosen goddess of death, goddess of, Paithombi, of course, but you've chosen so many other forms of the goddess.
I remember when I was reading this book named The Mothers of Manipur, written by Teresa Rahman. There, it is about the brutal rape of Thanjam Manorama in 2004 on 11, most probably on 11 July 2004. And so there, these women who protested vehemently, there was a nude protest, the historic nude protest in Manipur. And then there was one lady, an elderly lady, she said that if the official custodians and the protectors of the state, if they came to stop us, we would have devoured them like Goddess Kali. So nothing in this world would stop us from, saving our child. And if you see a document, I can send you a few documentaries on Thanja Manorama's rape case, where they said that she is our daughter. We are all mothers of Manorama. So you come and take our flesh.
My God. That power. So
That
basically,
power.
we are looking at anything that's abnormal as something that's grotesque, right? Any
No,
that
yeah.
emotion or anything that's
When you
beyond
told
the.
when you said, Didi, ma'am, I want you to do work on a grotesque goddess, one who is not so comforting, not so nurturing, not so beautiful, etc., etc. According to the
Norm, according to
norms,
conditioning.
according
Yes,
to the
yes.
conditioning, yeah. I even remember you said that we hardly worship grotesque goddesses in South. We worship Lalita, Lakshmi, etc. But in Manipur, and then I remember I had told you that in Manipur, there is no goddess who is ugly, who is not
Yes,
fair.
yes.
Every goddess, whether she's the goddess of death, she has to be fair, beautiful, and no matter whatever phenomenon she presents, she is fair and beautiful in Manipur. In Manipur, I guess it is because of the race, the northeast race. I mean, the Mongoloid, Indo-Mongoloid race. They don't have anyone. This the dark complexion doesn't exist in Manipur that much. Now, of course, there, but usually they are on the fairer side. So, so I told you that I will not work on Hindu goddesses, on the Vedic goddesses. I will work on the lesser known goddesses of our ancient religion. So I had worked on Panthoibi. Panthoibi is a bit similar to Durga. She has certain differences as well. She's a bit similar to Durga. She's the goddess of war, of love, of peace, and she's very brave. She holds the weapons of war. She rides a tiger, and some even says that she even rides a horse. And
Oh.
she is the consort of Nongpong Ningtho. Nongpong Ningtho is again the lord of East. Some people, and according to the ancient scholars, there's a huge controversy. According to the ancient scholars, Nongpong Ningtho is akin to Shiva, and Panthoibi is similar to
Again
Durga.
to Parvati.
And so I won't go into that controversies. And then I portrayed that Thongak Larimbi. Thongak Larimbi is the goddess of death. Thong means door. Ngakpa means to guard. So she guards the door. Lairembi is goddess. Panthoibi is also Lairembi. So Thongak Lairembi, she sits at the gateway to the kingdom of death, and to reach her, you have to cross a river. Same as you have to cross a Vaitarani,
Yes,
you have to
yes.
cross a river. When the person comes, when she comes to her, she gives that person water. Then, depending on her karma, she decides whether she will put that person in hell or in heaven.
Heaven,
And
she decides.
she decides, and if that person does something extraordinarily good, which is beneficial to the society, etc., etc., she gives them back their lives. So that is what I showed in the last scene, right? That
Scene,
you
yes,
are,
yes.
yeah, that you are not robbed of your clothes. You're not robbed of your clothes, and you're not robbed of your honors. You are closest to the flame, so you can never be burned. You are Panthoibi yourself. You're a goddess.
You're a goddess. That was. I'll come to that later because that's towards the end, and I really loved how you depicted a lot of things that happened. The way you showed rape.
There are three aspects which I showed in my production. One is in the film. One is the Nupi Lan. The Nupi means women. Lan means war. So there were two Nupi Lans in Manipur. First Nupi Lan was in 1904, and the second one was in 1939. So the second,
Chose the second one.
chose the second one. Yeah. So there. It was, a very strong suffragette uprising against the indiscriminate export of rice by the I shouldn't be saying this, but by the Marwari agents and the British who were there, and they had and the agents, they had taken the help of the British imperialists to export rice outside Manipur, and the farmers of Manipur. It is the story is similar to the story of Nargis's mother India. So they were starving, they were famished, and so the mothers and the wives of the farmers, they went out of their way, and they couldn't see this, to save their house, to save the society, to save their
The
children. They
culture, their
protect
whole existence.
they
Yeah.
their existence. They fought against the British unarmed, and there is still a Nupilan Memorial Museum in Manipur.
The way you depicted it, the way you used grain in the film. So, how did you think of this for the film, for the camera? Because I see a lot of, you did not really do it like a typical stage production. I'll ask you that question later. Now, how will you convert it to stage? But I see that in the way you chose to tell the story, the camera plays a very important role. The way you chose different locations, the way you chose elements like fire, like grain, you actually used all of that, to. So, how did you think? How did you conceive
You
of
know,
all of that?
Katyayani, when you had approached me with this concept, I remember telling you that I am not so fortunate that I will meet Kali and Durga in this lifetime of mine. So I will work on those women who are like Kali Durga, who are like Kali Durga, according to me, according to my opinion. Like they
Yes.
have sacrificed everything, their lives and everything.
Yes.
They fear nothing under the sun. They're not anything, and anything, nothing stops them from
Fighting.
from struggling for their existence. And they never compromise. They were very uncompromising, unforgiving, but they were all mothers. And what I wanted to tell you that, remember, I even asked you, is my topic grotesque enough?
Enough, yes. And I said, yes, of course, if there are women fighting like that and there are women doing naked protests,
no,
it is
grotesque,
grotesque.
because the normal, the
Idea.
when people, when the normal idea or the notion of people of a woman who's grotesque is she has to be fierce, ugly, hideous. But for me, there's difference between grotesque and gruesome. I always felt that when a woman goes out of the way, the normal norms, the barriers which is set by a heterosexual society, a patriarchal society, then she is considered as a grotesque woman. Yes. Remember, there's a story in Bengali literature, in Bengali mythology as well, that there was a woman who could predict everything. Who could predict, and like Nostradamus, who could predict everything, and the king cut off her tongue.
Because she's a woman.
No, because she could predict everything. She's extremely powerful.
Oh.
So and it is called Khana. Her name was Khana. So whenever a girl has supernatural powers, even in Manipur, whenever a girl has supernatural powers, she's a witch. We have the same concept in Manipur, but one plus point in Manipur is that Manipur, being a very egalitarian society, it's a patriarchal society, no matter what. But there is a special place for women. Like there was earlier, there were special courts for women. Everything, the special markets for women, and the economy is entirely controlled by women. And they play a very, very important role in the society. In shaping the history of Manipur, they played a very crucial role. They still do. You must have heard of Irom Sharmila, the one who went on who fasted for 10 or 13 years.
Yes.
And so and in Manipur, we also have these concepts like Heloi. She's an evil spirit, a beautiful woman who entices men, who abducts them and takes them on top of a hill, and the person becomes mad. She calls them 3 times. Then there is Hinchabi, like a witch. Then there is Potsem Jadu Toba, which is witchcraft. But I never want to work on these women, these evil spirits, for my production. I always feel that an artist should end her work on a positive note, right?
Yes.
And And do you think any woman who is worshipped out of fear, we tell her that please don't enter my house, I am appeasing you here, I'm giving you fruits and food and whatever you want, clothes and whatever you want, please don't enter my house, you go. Do you think any woman will be happy if she's treated like that? No. Even if she's an evil spirit, I don't think she will be happy. So you have to listen to her story. She has become grotesque because the situation was unpleasant, because the situation
She
was
was
grotesque.
pushed. She was
She was pushed. Yeah, she was pushed beyond
She's
her barriers,
cornered,
and
yeah.
yeah, she was cornered. So she became Heloi or a Hinchabi or a whatever, a witch, because she had certain dissatisfaction. And if you listen to her story, she's not that bad. Okay, there was this. I remember my friend telling me, my friend Mohiniyattam dancer Mom Ganguly. She was a long time back. She was telling me to watch a movie called "O Stri Tum Kal Aana." तो मेरे घर अब मत आओ, मेरे घर अब तुम मत आओ. So do you think any woman, whether she's a human being or an evil, she will be very
Will be
happy?
happy.
हाँ, भय से भक्ति करना, she's worshipping me out of fear. No, I don't think no women will be happy like that. So that is one reason I did not want to work on anything which is evil, which is ugly, evil, and gruesome.
Beautiful. But also, then you've woven 3, 4 stories that are
Yeah,
historic events into the plot of the film,
yeah.
you know,
So
and
so you were
yes,
telling
ma'am.
you were telling me about the plots and how did I visualize it, etc.,
Conceive,
etc.,
yes.
conceived it. First of all, I would say that I'm extremely thankful to my cinematographer Protush Roy Dasgupta. He's amazing behind the lens. And dancer, contemporary and Bharatanatyam dancer Shubhajit Khush Das. uh, he's also amazing with, he was the director of video, the videography, kahan se kya karna hai, kahan se kaun sa lights lana hai from, and he was there with me throughout. And of course my niece and my student Kankana, who helped me, you must be knowing Kankana, who
Yes,
helped me
yes.
throughout from paper to camera,
Lovely.
everything,
Thank you,
everything.
Kankana, on my
and
behalf
and
too.
and my another student of mine, Mausam Nandi. So without Mausam Nandi, who helped me with everything, with sets and everything. So when we had gone on a recce to see the spots, it was outside, it was not in Kolkata, several places in one particular district in Hooghly, but several places, Chuchura, Mogra, Bandel, etc. And when we had chosen a particular place for the harvest scene. The harvest scene, you were talking about grains, right? So there was a huge paddy field. So we had decided that we will do the shoot just next to the paddy field. And you won't believe, after a few days when we had gone there, there were huge sheets spread all over the field, full of grains, full of grains.
Lovely.
When I asked the farmers, because we had visualized it in a different way, we thought that we'll throw some grains, and I wanted to show the feet of the British, how they crushed the grains. The grains, they are like our children.
Yes.
I hadn't even showed that in my
Yes.
movie, in my film, that
Yes.
they are like my children. I have nurtured them. So I compare my child with the crops.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you use
there's
that the traditional
that
way
is the
of
traditional way of putting the child
tying
on
a
the back.
child
Yeah,
in.
yeah, tying the child, and that is the way we have been raised up. So it is very common, common for us. So so when we had gone there, the field was full of the rice. The paddy field was also there, and this place was full of grains. And I thought, कि इसके ऊपर dance करे कैसे? How will I dance? But then they said that the farmers, they said, doesn't matter, you dance on top of that. And I said, no, it is Lakshmi. They said, no, it doesn't matter, iske baad you do your pranam, and that's okay.
Lovely.
And they were so, I seriously, and the entire, I would say, everything, all the forces under the sun were favorable. They helped me
Favorable.
so much.
Yes,
They
yes.
helped me so much.
Yeah. So it's the elements that you use. That's why I feel it was made for the camera, the entire visualization of your ideas, the way you use a circle of fire, the way you
Circle of
use.
Fire, as I said, I used three aspects. One is Nupilan, the second Nupilan, which happened in 1939, and it lasted for several months till the outbreak of the Second World War. They were not fully, they didn't win fully, the women, but the British, they were, they were in the end, they were bound to surrender some of their orders, cancel some of their orders. But then, of course, but it is the bravery, the chivalry of these women. So I told you there's a museum which is very next to my house in Manipur in their memory. And then I used another aspect of Manipur. The Meitei society is Maira Paibi. Maira means torch. Paibi means flaming torches, and Paibi means the one who holds it bearer. So in Manipur, in the evening, just after the sunset, all the women of the houses, they will go out, walk along the streets, the lanes of the entire city, and they'll raise their voices against the various injustice that is happening in the land, whether it is domestic violence, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, or and now it has become pretty political. In fact, they raise their voices against certain decrees that have been passed by the central against the state, etc., etc. And there's this, I don't know whether you have noticed it or not, a particular bamboo torch from where smoke comes out. That is called a kegam, where the women when they protest, or suppose when they protest against something which is not normal, someone has died, someone has committed a suicide or died in an accident, or he or she has been shot, unnatural death. So to protest, they hold those kegams. So I showed that. So everything in my film, from top to bottom, except the place, is Meitei, 100%. Even the what is it called? We call it Yankok. In Bengal, it's called Pulo. I don't know what it is called in English. The basket.
The basket where you use for the grains.
Which I use for the grains, and which I use for to clean the grains. To clean the grains. Yeah. So that was also there in my mind. Mother said, why are you taking all these? Where are you
even the one with which you drink
the wine. When they said that now awaken the goddess within you, when they were all shattered and when they were all defeated, they said, no, we will not die, we have to rise. So when they awaken the goddesses within them, this particular bottle is called tumba. It is made of bottle gourd, kaddu, dried bottle gourd, and it is in Manipur, the indigenous people, they drink wine in that. And when Panthoibi is worshipped, they even offer of course, even in Kali Puja, they offer wine, right?
Alcohol.
It's alcohol. Same in Manipur, but they offer in a different vessel. Here I showed it in a tumba, the typical, the very traditional Meitei way, or the indigenous way, the way they drink the wine in a tumba.
Lovely. So how about the music, ma'am? How did you conceive? Because did you go back and forth between the shooting and the music, or did you have it in mind before?
No, first, the script has been done by Mr. Amit Dasgupta, who's amazing with his pen. Amit Dasgupta and yours truly. And the concept is mine, of course. And some of the things, of course, I wrote later on, when I thought that the scenes have to change. I have to change the scenes. So in Manipur, immediately I had to, while doing the music, I changed a few things. Rewrite certain scenes. And the music was given by a very renowned resource person and musicologist, music director of Manipur, Guru N. Tikain Singh. I explained the entire thing to him. He listened very carefully, and he said, in theater, people have worked on this Thangja Manorama case and all that. The people, the theater personalities, but no dancer has worked on it. God bless you. Because it's a very controversial thing, and in the very beginning, I had also said in my video that it has no resemblance with anyone dead or alive, anything else, and it is a very apolitical thing. No, I just wanted to show the strength, the willpower of the women.
Yes.
And then later on, after the music was done, again I changed a few scenes. So again, it had to be edited a bit, and there again yours truly intervened. So certain places, even I did. There was another
There's like a
friend of
theme
mine.
song that repeats, right? There's a
Ha,
song. So can you tell us
Nong
about that? How did you
It
come
is
up with that?
that song has been the lyrics was by Guru N.P. Singh, the music director. He's amazing, out of the world. And when I told him that I want a song where I read, there is a. I'll tell you about the name of the film first. Footprints in Blood. Footprints. How did this word come in my mind? Because there's puya. Puya means a manuscript in Manipur, in Meitei language. It is called Panthoibi Khongul. Panthoibi is footprints. So it is all
Oh,
about Panthoibi. All her
oh.
tales, all her tales, different kinds of tales. It's called Panthoibi Khongul. So I thought, if I'm doing something on women, and where Panthoibi plays an important role, where I'm comparing these valiant women with Panthoibi, why don't I name it Footprints in Blood? So that is how, and in Manipur, people said, no, you have to give it a Meitei name. It has to be Ikeng Lakta Khongul, means Ikeng Lakta. I said, no
How
one
will
will
they
understand. No
understand?
one will understand. You said, Didi, you translate. Iche means Didi in Manipur. Iche, you translate, but it has to be Ikeng Lakta Khongul. So even my music director, he said, whether you call it Footprints in Blood or Bloody Footprints, I don't care. I will call it Ikeng Lakta Khongul. And so when I told him that in Panthoibi Khongul there is I had heard, not read, because the lyrics, the language is in archaic Manipuri. I don't understand that. So there it is written that Panthoibi, she is the goddess of the universe. So her adornments is not like ours. The stars and the
Are
moons
her
are
jewelry.
her jewelries, and the waterfalls and the rivers are like her necklace, etc., etc. So I told him that I want a song similar to this, and he closed his eyes, told one of his assistants, take a pen and a paper, whatever I'm saying, you just jot down. And that song was made.
Wow. It's a
Wow.
beautiful, beautiful,
In front
beautiful,
of my eyes.
lovely.
And it says Nongthang Lakta Popi, you are born, because Panthoibi is another form of Nongthang Laima. She's the goddess of lightning. So you're born out of lightning. Nongthang Lakta Popi, Mairi Pijet Nabi, your clothes are fire. Not fire, your clothes are Agi Tumhara Vastra hai. Your clothes are fire. And the stars and the satellites, the sweat on your
Beads.
forehead, the sweat beads on your forehead, on your face are the stars and the satellites, the moons and the
Wow.
stars.
Wow.
And the rivers and the waterfalls are your neck pieces. And the depth of the path means lake, the depth of the path is your eyesight. And you are moon faced. We say your face is like a moon. It is not your face is like a moon. The moon itself is your face.
Is your face.
And
Beautiful.
and the ring of mountains is your crown. So this is what it is.
And
then
especially, go on, please.
So I had used this in the beginning when I showed there's a small scene of Panthoibi, and then in Panthoibi means a devotee describing Panthoibi, not Panthoibi herself. And again in the end, when this girl, when she's empowered by the Thongak Lari with the death of the goddess of death, and gives her the flaming torch in her hand and tells her, you go, I give you back your life, because you have no place in this land. You are deathless. So, and then again that song is there. That song comes, that you are born out of lightning.
Beautiful, beautiful. What I especially loved was the way you depicted rape, a gang rape. So symbolic, so suggestive, and yet so, when I was watching it, I was actually feeling trapped. very, very trapped.
That is, you must have seen the bamboo dance that they do in
Yeah.
Meghalaya,
Yeah. But to
in
use
Mizoram,
it in this
in Mizoram.
context, yes. But to
But
use,
In Manipur also they have slightly different sort of a bamboo dance, which is done by a particular sect of people, not the Maitais. So, and it is simpler. It is simpler than what they do in Mizoram and Meghalaya. So it is but then I wanted to use that. Like she runs from one chamber to the other, and then
yes,
when she's in the middle, she's in the center.
she's
She gets
caught.
trapped.
She's caught.
She's caught. She's trapped.
Yeah.
And then
It was
I
beautiful.
even showed
The lotus.
the lotus. I especially
Yes.
used the lotus because lotus, you must be knowing that it rises out of it blooms in mud, but it is unscathed, untouched
By any dirt or
any dirt.
anything that's not pure. It's beautifully done, and it. I mean, it's a very uncomfortable thing, and actually that dance is actually a very energetic, sprightly one. But to use it in this context, I felt was really, really innovative, and it was very, very well done.
It's a very simple theme. Mine is a very simple theme. I just wanted to show the willpower, the strength, the suffering, the struggle that the women have gone through, and the willpower that they have to cross all the binaries. The binary as this, a girl has to do this, a boy cannot do that. A boy cannot do this, a girl can do this. So these binaries they had crossed. We don't care. Even we don't care. Even these women who had protested in this Thangja Manor case, they knew that they will be cornered. They will not be accepted by the society. They will not be accepted by the family. But many families even accepted them. And
it's a very strong image, no?
Yeah. And they had done it very. It was a very planned thing. I read about it. It was a very planned thing. And they said that no matter what happens, we will raise our voice against this, and we want the official custodians of the state. They were given the power to protect the people of the land, but they were the one who had raped. She was gang raped, and she was brutally killed. She was shot several times. And so this but many families of these women fighters, they had accepted them back, but some of them said, even if they accept us, we will not go back. We will stay separately. We will stay separately.
They couldn't get back to something that's normal and every day after that happened. And
many of them were they were vendors at Ima Kaitel at the women's market. They again went back to the market after a few months, and they are cool about it. So what if people have seen us like this?
Yeah. How were the costumes, Devi? Ma'am, how did you plan your costumes? Because I noticed that pink, when you show that girl, I noticed the pink in her costume, the pink in the lotus, and even the building had something of pink in it. It was slightly pinkish.
Pink as dainty and nice and untouched,
innocent, tender.
Very tender. And the costume, the dress that we wear, the traditional dress that we wear, is called a fanek, the wraparound. We wear it from the waist, but traditionally a married woman has to wear it from her chest. Traditionally, that is. So in Manipur, everyone wears it from the chest. But suppose if you are going somewhere, if you are going out, etc., then if you wear the fanek, and the inafi means the chadar, the veil, it has to be worn like this. But nowadays, of course, we wear it like a sari.
How are you going to translate this onto the stage?
It will be entirely different.
Yes,
I have to conceive it in a very different way. My solo portions will be, of course, maybe unchanged. I don't know, because now when I see the film, I think I wish I could do this place in this way. I wish I could do that in that. This automatic. This happens with every artist. I guess.
Yeah. I'm so glad that when I conceived of this theme, actually, I believe that there is this ghora within all of us, all of us women. Men too, maybe, but women too. Our ghora is different from their ghora.
No, actually, women. Katyayani, all women are nurturing mothers. We
Yes,
or
yes,
we
absolutely.
say a nurturing mother. We never say a nurturing father. Caring father, hum
Yes,
bolte hain, but we say
yes.
a nurturing mother.
Nurturer,
So
born
don't.
nurturer.
So, we can be holy water and hellfire.
Yes, yes.
We don't tamper with us.
Exactly,
That is exactly
exactly.
what I wanted to show. Don't
Yes,
tamper
yes.
with us. But again, she again gets, after all the struggles and the fight and everything, she again gets back to
Gets
her,
back to her
her own
original
self,
own
original
self.
self, her
Yes.
nurturing self, her mother.
So I'm so happy this film became a part of this festival because it's not just about the goddesses. It's about the goddess within us, with the ghora within us, what we can actually do and get. So this film, I'm so happy you chose the themes that you
And
did. You
I'm so
brought in
happy
the
I have been
stories.
able to do this in your festival, because I always wanted to work on the Thangja Manorama case and even the Nupilan. I wish we
Yes.
were given more time, then I could have added a few more elements of the suffragette uprisings and the feminist things that we have in Manipur.
Yeah, yeah. So I just want to tell everyone this is a beautiful, beautiful film, and the rest are brilliant. Each is beautiful in its own very, very, very different way. So this festival, Ghora, the Grotesque Goddess, will premiere on Jan 21st. And there are two films on each day, 21st, 22nd, and one on 23rd. The tickets are available on Tickle. It'll premiere on that day. It'll be available till Jan 31st for you to watch in case those 3 days are busy. But please go get your tickets as soon as possible, because wonderful artists like Bimbavati ma'am have been working on these films for like months now, through pandemic, through cyclones, through ill health, through I don't know what, their ill health, other people's ill health, wedding season, through a lot of obstacles. They've worked on it and they've put these brilliant films together. If you watch the trailer which we released just today with all the films, you will see how much work has
And
gone into each of them.
one thing is, I remember someone asking me when they saw the trailer, they said that there was this lady in black, she's wearing black, and she sort of goes in a trance, she gets into a trance. So I also wanted to tell about that in Manipur, we have the women priestesses, rather they are religious female functionaries. So since the ancient religion, we have two religions. We follow two religions side by side. One is the ancient religion, which is a nice, harmonious blend of tantric cult, Shaivism, ancestor worship, nature worship, and animistic cult, worshipping souls and spirits, etc. And the other one is Vaishnavism, which went in much later. So, but we worship, these two religions go simultaneously, side by side. And the ancient religion, in this ancient, we have a particular festival called Lai Harauba, which is a fertility cult, which happens during the month of April. It starts from March, April, and continues till May. And there, the the main directors and the star conductors of the festival are females. They are priestesses, because it's a tantric cult. And through their dances, I have used a lot of mudras, etc., of my bees. Through their we all learn the different, they have different dances. Through their dances, body movement, gestures, they describe the primitive concept of cosmology, the creation of the earth, the union between the male and the female divine energies. And so you remember, before the harvest, before I showed the harvest thing, the scene, there was this
That is
union
a
between
trance. Yes,
no, there was
yes.
the union between the
The
male and the
union.
female.
Yes, 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 yes. Beautifully done.
And there's this lady, this Thongak Larimbi, the goddess of death, and these Maibis they often, when they invoke the goddesses and the gods and the goddesses, they get into a trance because उसको एक external energy feel होता है, so they get into a trance. And we call it in Manipur Lai Tongba. Lai means god or goddess, and Tongba means to sit upon someone. Lai Tongba. So their Lai Tongba is very different from the Lai Tongbas that we have in Bengal or in other parts of India, where they shake their head and their hair goes around. But in Manipur, it's something very aesthetic. They hold their hand in mushtis and they do different kinds of movements. So that I have showed in Kunga Clarimbi scene, that when she touches this girl's hand, when she gives her water, she sees that her blood. Her blood also, her hand is also bloody. It becomes bloody, and she asks this girl, that tells this girl that you have to tell me your story, because your blood is similar to mine, which should not be, because I am a Devi and you are a human being. So what is it? And when she starts narrating the story, she gets into a trance. And that is the typical My Beat trance that I have used.
Yes. Please, I request all of you to just get your ticket and come watch this beautiful film, which will be on 22nd Jan. Footprints in Blood will be on the 22nd Jan, but the rest of the films are as exciting in very different ways. Thank you, ma'am, for spending months on this and a lot of your effort and thought and creativity you poured into this. Thank you so much for that, for trusting us enough to work with us on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Katyayani.
And
thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you.